Today I want to talk about a specific patch series that just got introduced, which is a new file system driver for the NTFS file system called NTFSplus. Let's talk about why it matters, what kind of performance gains we might see out of this, and some of the concerns. Before we read through the introduction to this patch series, I want to talk a little bit about NTFS support on Linux. First off, what is NTFS? NTFS, also known as the NT file system, and commonly referred to as the New Technology File System, is a proprietary journaling file system developed by Microsoft in the 1990s. The reason being it was developed to overcome scalability, security, and other limitations with FAT. NTFS adds several features that FAT and HPFS lack, including access control lists, file system encryption, transparent compression, sparse files, file system journaling, volume shadow copy, which is a feature that allows backups of systems while in use. And it is still the default file system for every Windows desktop and server operating system today. Some of the other features that aren't listed here include large volume support with 64-bit addressing on multi-terabyte disks, alternate data streams, ADS, which lets single file names hold multiple data forks. And because Windows dominates the desktop world, NTFS has become the de facto cross-platform file system even for things like external USB devices. And if you've ever used a Windows formatted flash drive, more than likely it was NTFS. Now, you might be asking, why in the world does Linux care about NTFS if we use different file systems? Well, some of the reasons include being able to mount Windows drives for file exchange. You want to make sure that those types of reads and writes are very stable, quick, and work well between the two. Also, you might want to rescue NTFS on Linux. Let's say something happened, you could go to a Linux computer and hook up an NTFS partition and then try to actually rescue data, or if you just want to boot Linux off of a Windows shared external disk. These are all important things that Linux users may or may not want to do. A big reason for this push here is the fact that NTFS drivers have been remaining fairly stale as of late, and not much has been developed on that front. So it's interesting to see this patch series called NTFSplus and some of the decisions that they've made here. So that's a little background on why we might want to use NTFS. Let's read about this patch series and why this is important here to Linux. First off, introduction. The NTFS file system still remains a default file system for Windows, and the well-maintained NTFS driver in the Linux kernel enhances interoperability with Windows devices, making it easier for Linux users to work with NTFS formatted drives. Currently, NTFS support in Linux was the long-neglected NTFS Classic read-only, which has been removed from the Linux kernel, leaving the poorly maintained NTFS 3. NTFS 3 still has many problems and is poorly maintained. So users and distributions are still using the old legacy NTFS 3G drivers. So now we kind of understand why this patch series was made. Basically to replace old and stale drivers. This is really a remake of NTFS support on Linux. And it's actually based around the old classic read-only NTFS driver in the kernel as a base. It includes a lot of goals that we're going to be going through. And again, this is important because hopefully we'll see better write support and performance out of this in a more modern maintained driver. Now, the one thing I will mention that's a little bit odd is starting from the read-only base instead of the newer driver. It's interesting that this patch series and the people behind the NTFSplus chose to base on the old read-only classic NTFS driver, which is claimed to have cleaner code and better comments, rather than trying to start on the newer NTFS 3 driver, which already supports writes. We'll see why, but let's continue on about what is NTFSplus. The remade NTFS called NTFSplus is an implementation that supports write and essential requirements like IO map, no buffered head, utilities, XFS test result based on read-only classic NTFS. The old read-only NTFS code is much cleaner with extensive comments, offers readability that makes understanding NTFS easier. This is why NTFSplus was developed on old read-only NTFS base. The target is to provide current trends, IO map, no buffer head, folio, enhanced performance, stable maintenance, and utility support, including file system check. So now we have a better understanding of why they kind of took on the read-only base instead of the newer driver. Still interesting because it makes for a rewrite of the write features pretty hard, but I assume they will reference the NTFS 3 driver for the writes. It's a good decision to make the base off of something that's very readable for other developers. It makes it more maintainable and understandable when people are trying to go through the code if you have clean written and structured code. So I don't fault them for going with the read-only classic driver as the base. Now I'm interested in some of the key features here, and I'm sure a lot of you are as well. But before we move on, if you like videos like this, make sure to subscribe below and smash that like button on the way back up. Let's talk key features of this new NTFSplus driver. So, write support. Implement write support on classic read-only NTFS. Additionally, integrate delayed allocation to enhance write performance through multi-cluster allocation and minimize fragmentation of cluster bitmap. Which this might be a mouthful here, but just know that delayed allocation is a method to group writes together, and that just helps writing become faster and keeps files less fragmented on a disk. Switch to using IO map. Use IO map for buffered IO writes, reads, direct IO, file, extent mappings, read pages, write pages, operations. This also helps make data transfers faster and simpler when using modern, more efficient methods for managing where file data is stored on a disk. Stop using buffer head. The use of buffer head in old NTFS and switch to use folio instead. As a result, config buffer head option enabled is removed in kconfig also. So basically the old NTFS driver used older data structure called buffer heads to manage memory pages. Now the NTFSplus is trying to replace these with a newer system called folios, which can handle larger chunks of data more efficiently. They're also going to remove the config buffer head kernel configuration option because it's not going to be needed when going to folios. Public utilities include, while NTFS 3G includes NTFSprogs as a component, it notably lacks the file system check implementation. So we have launched a new NTFS utilities project called NTFSprogs Plus. That's a mouthful. By forking from NTFS 3G after removing unnecessary NTFS fuse implementation, file system check.ntfs can be used for NTFS testing with XFS tests, as well as recovering corrupted NTFS devices. So this does let us understand how the approach is going to be. Even though that they're using the classic NTFS driver with read-only, they will be checking out the NTFS 3G driver as well, and the NTFS 3 driver implementation of things in order to port code over and make the NTFSplus driver more compatible. And as far as this goes here, this is going to be a new tool set called NTFS Programs Plus, which will include a way to check and repair NTFS drives, something that older NTFS 3G tools did not have. This helps users who plug up an NTFS drive under Linux fix damaged and corrupted NTFS disks, which really hasn't been a thing in the past. So some of the best news of this is the fact that NTFSplus has performance enhancements. We're going to be going through those right now, but this is a very interesting and important driver because NTFS support under Linux remains not only stale, but underperformant. I'm very excited to see if this project will succeed because it's not the first project to say this. As we can tell, there's the classic driver, the 3G driver, the 3 driver. There's a lot of drivers here. A lot of projects that have tried to do this in the past and have failed. They just become stale. Even though it's important, even to Linux users, it just has not been a priority when it comes to development. Anyways, back to the performance here. Performance was benchmarked using IOZone with various chunk size in a single thread write tests. NTFSplus shows approximately a 3 to 5% better performance. In multi-thread, 4 threads, write tests, NTFSplus shows approximately a 35 to 110% better performance. That's quite amazing when it comes to writes. Read throughput is identical for both NTFS implementations. That I would assume is true just because that was a copy over. Write had to be rewritten. So what do we see here? For a 1 gig file, using different block sizes, so you can see here, we have a 4096 or 4K, 16K, and 64K. Here's what happens. Basically, the read speeds, again, are the same across drivers, and you can see that here. No significant change. But when you write in 1-threaded mode versus 4-threaded mode, so you're using 1 thread versus 4 threads on your writes, you do see a significant boost. On the left-hand side, with the NTFSplus driver, we go 291 or 105 when we do multiple threads, and we have 276 versus 50 megabytes per second. And things seem to not necessarily scale, but things are still better when you get bigger block sizes with 325 versus 305 and 333 versus 317 on 1 thread, and 113 versus 78 and 114 versus basically 100. File list browsing performance, which I'm actually very interested in, becomes better as well. 12 to 14% faster gains here, and I hope it only gets better because this is some of the most frustrating parts of browsing an NTFS file system from a different operating system, including Mac OS. It takes forever to really browse through things load up. It takes a very long time. I've always had this issue across operating systems, including on Linux, but it's definitely a lot better on Linux when it comes to Mac. It's just abysmal. But regardless, I do like the file list browsing performance being enhanced either way. And then the mount time as well is significantly improved. Now we get a reason for why the performance is better. Compared to NTFS 3, the most modern driver for NTFS, use IO map AOPS, delayed allocation support, optimize zero out for newly allocated clusters, optimize run list merge overhead with small chunk size, preload MFT nodes blocks, index dentry blocks to improve read adder plus stat performance, and load LCN bitmap on the background. Which this might sound like a bunch of mumbo jumbo. That's because it is. Basically, it just says NTFS Plus is faster than NTFS 3 because of newer, more efficient ways to handle data. It's reducing wasted work by using modern I/O systems, grouping writes efficiently, preloading important file information, and doing background tasks like loading disk maps so main file operations do not slow down. Also, we get stability improvements. We pass more of the XFS tests, including passing 287 instead of 218 on NTFS 3's driver. NTFSplus implement validate, ID mapped mount and permission, etc., resulting in a significantly higher number of XFS tests passed compared to NTFS 3. Bonnie++ is a benchmark that fails on NTFS 3 with directory not empty error during the file deletion. NTFS 3 currently iterates directory entries by reading index blocks one by one. When entries are deleted concurrently, index block merging or entry reallocation can cause readder to skip some entries, leaving files undeleted and workloads on Bonnie++ that mix unlink and directory scans. NTFSplus implement leaf chain traversal in readder to avoid entry skip on deletion. Again, another mouthful here. Just understand that the Bonnie++ test, which just checks file performance, fails to even run on NTFS 3. NTFS uses a smarter method called leaf chain traversal, which ensures that every file is found and deleted correctly, and that helps it pass the Bonnie++ test, or actually even run the Bonnie++ test. Journaling support. NTFS 3 does not provide full journaling support, and there's a note to actually add in full journal support for NTFS+. Now we get a summary before the whole entire patch has been submitted on all the features and support, but I do want to talk about the community sentiment on this a little bit, because people have been talking about it on Reddit as well, and on other forums, so it's interesting to see what people are saying about this new NTFSplus driver. But before we check this out, if you're ready to level up your Linux experience, check out my checklist, cheat sheet, and my map, all available with new flashcards on SavvyNik.com. Download those today. The overall community sentiment here is cautiously optimistic, it seems. Many users are saying it's about time that we see a new driver here with stable development. There's big hopes for this. With better and faster NTFS support on Linux, this will enable people to seamlessly dual boot and share data with Windows. The biggest concern, of course, is whether or not this is going to exist. There's a lot that has to happen, including working with bootloaders, firmware, how updates will be performed. And this is not the first time we've seen an NTFS driver, right? We've seen the 3G, the 3, the read-only classic. Those are just a few. So the very first comment is deja vu. How many new NTF drivers does Linux need, and how long until this one is abandoned, just like the last one, NTFS 3? So there's definitely some skepticism and concern behind how far this one will make it, as history has shown that these NTFS drivers tend to get abandoned. We'll see how serious the devs are behind this one. Only time will tell, but let's get back into that full feature comparison summary. So this is a comparison between the NTFSplus and NTFS 3 drivers. Write support, yes and yes. IO map support, yes and no. No buffer head, yes and no. Public utilities, yes and no. Pass tests, more on NTFSplus. ID mapped mount, yes and no. Delayed allocation, yes and no. Bonnie++, pass and fail. And journaling, planned and inoperative, which you can just say inoperative on NTFSplus right now as well. Anyways, it's interesting to see this with over 34,000 lines of code added with this new driver. There's a lot going on with it. Of course, we're going to expect a lot of work here to be done before it's ready for the masses. Yet it is something very exciting to see, because we might see a benefit for NTFS under Linux with this new driver, with much faster performance, more integration with native Linux utilities, better test coverage and stability, and a potential for journaling. If this all succeeds and is merged, Linux could finally see an NTFS volume almost like ext4 that's safe, stable, fast, and performant, which could be a big win for mixed operating system users and people just trying to access data on NTFS file systems. I'm excited to keep following this one, as Linux continues to improve their file systems. We've seen many file systems, including ext and XFS, see huge gains, at least with the last kernel release 6.17. I have videos on those as well. I'll post a link in the description below if you like videos like this and exploring file systems. You might want to check out some of the patch series that were submitted for those two recently. Anyways, I want to know what you think in the comment section below. Are these too big of hopes? Do you have concern on how this driver will be implemented? Do we really need another NTFS driver that may or may not go stale? Again, post in the comment section below. Also, make sure to subscribe below. Smash that like button on the way back up. Catch me in a great community on Discord, and I'll catch you in another video. Thanks for watching.